Mais bon, moi, pour l'instant, c'est voilà, je tout je m'intéresse. Est-ce que ça peut devenir un projet? Est-ce que ce projet, est-ce que ce sera toujours là dans 2 ans? Enfin, toutes ces questions-là.
Oui,
Et
oui,
aussi, surtout les techniques, en fait, je veux bien comprendre par quel mécanisme ils souhaitent du coup avoir 40 000 transactions secondes sur une blockchain, enfin tout ça.
oui, oui, oui. Moi, je trouve ça phénoménal aussi, mais bon, si, apparemment, il a trouvé les techniques pour faire ça. Donc, et sur le Bitcoin blockchain, ça sera possible aussi, mais bon, ils ont le problème de proof of work. Et avec un proof of stake modèle, ça peut être beaucoup plus vite parce que tu n'as pas besoin d'attendre les larges calculs.
Oui, voilà.
Donc, je pense que ça devient des petites bases de données qui sont relatées, euh,
Relié.
reliées, oui.
Oui, c'est ça.
Ouais. Donc, tu travailles dans le... bon, je peux te tutoyer ou
Oui, oui,
euh,
pas de problème.
tu travailles dans l'informatique?
Ouais, un peu, mais je suis développeur web, donc je fais du JavaScript.
Ah oui,
Je fais pas de langage bas niveau.
oui, oui, d'accord. Ça peut être quand même intéressant parce que nous avons aussi un site web, RChain.coop,
Hmm.
et il, ça sert toujours d'avoir des gens qui se connaissent en JavaScript parce que tu peux, bon, beaucoup mieux créer ta site avec.
Tout à fait. On peut aller vite faire des trucs plus cool, quoi.
Oui, oui, oui,
C'est vrai que pour l'instant, le très simple, on va dire. Mais bon,
oui. Donc, moi, je suis basé aux Pays-Bas
d'accord.
et je reste un mois aux Pays-Bas et après un mois en France. Et comme ça continue.
Ah. À Paris?
Non, près de Clermont-Ferrand.
Hmm. Ok.
Et tu es où en France?
Moi, je suis à Toulouse.
Toulouse. Ah, d'accord. Jolie ville.
Ouais.
Et j'ai habité pendant 2 ans à Montpellier. C'était en 95. Et
Ok.
j'étais prestataire Internet. Donc, donner l'accès Internet à des gens par modem. C'était l'époque de Minitel encore.
Ouais. Parce que du coup, toi, tu fais un petit peu partie du projet RChain.
Oui, oui.
Ok.
Moi, j'essaie que tous les gens qui sont intéressés pour, pour bon, de les faire travailler ensemble.
D'accord.
Et on a un système sur GitHub. Et donc, je peux t'inviter là aussi. Et on, a, on est en train de définir des problèmes et on travaille ensemble pour trouver une solution.
Ok. Des problèmes qui concernent la plateforme RChain ou des choses un peu plus larges?
Oui, bon, c'est pas le développement de RChain,
Oui, ok.
mais c'est tout ce qui va autour, comme
Ok.
le site web, le marketing, bon, on veut distribuer aussi des rocks à des gens qui bossent. Donc, on essaie de créer un système pour ça parce que bon, il y a rien organisé. Il faut commencer tout carte blanche, en fait.
D'accord. Ouais. Ben moi, pourquoi pas m'impliquer un peu, mais oui, effectivement, faut que j'en apprenne un peu plus sur le projet.
Oui, oui. Bon, les intentions sont très bien parce que, bon, finalement, ce sera une coopération avec des membres qui vont partager le profit aussi de tout ce trésor. Donc, et il y a aussi un modèle de gouvernance parce que ça, c'est un grand problème avec Bitcoin. Pour changer des protocoles, par exemple, bon, c'est les membres qui font décider là-dessus.
D'accord. Ouais.
Mais tout ce modèle n'est pas clair encore, il faut l'inventer. Oui. Tu as déjà un moment dans le crypto?
Pardon, depuis combien de temps?
Oui.
Alors, moi, j'étais un peu dedans en fin 2013, là, quand le Bitcoin est arrivé à 1000 $, là, tout le monde en parlait un peu, donc j'ai regardé. Je fais un peu de mining. Je
Mm-hmm.
regardais les cryptos aussi beaucoup, les altcoins, là. Et ensuite, j'ai commencé à bosser, j'ai arrêté tout ça. Là, je
D'accord,
m'y suis mis, début de l'année, là.
d'accord. Oui, moi je trouve ça assez intéressant qui se passe. C'est des gens un peu révolutionnaires et bon, qui veulent changer le monde dans le bon sens, tout ça. Oui.
Ouais.
Donc, je peux peut-être partager mon écran, si ça te va,
Ok, ouais.
pour expliquer comment on travaille ensemble. Donc, je vais aller ici. C'est sur GitHub et c'est
D'accord.
tous les, il y a quelques repositories et bon, tout ce qui a pas à voir avec le développement, c'est en membre. Et là, je tourne le GitHub sur Chrome. Et là, il y a un add-on pour montrer un countdown overview pour le project management. Donc, on peut suivre un petit peu ce qui est en route. Par exemple, ça c'est un sujet et il y a à peu près une vingtaine de personnes qui discutent là-dessus. Oh. Et voilà, donc on essaye de mettre le rock sur un exchange parce que le corps ne peut pas le faire eux-mêmes parce que autrement le rock devient une security et ça implique beaucoup de choses pour légalement. Mais les gens qui sont actifs ils peuvent demander à des exchanges pour faire un listing pour leur rock. Et Ether Delta, tout le monde peut le faire tout seul. simplement de mettre un ordre. Et Oasis aussi. Et bon, il y a quelques trucs en route. Et voilà, donc là, il y a des discussions là-dessus pour, par exemple, ici, il y a un document pour faire une demande. Donc ça, il faut envoyer à Bittrex. Et voilà, on fait ça nous-mêmes. I think we have to change in English now.
That's okay.
Sorry, I don't speak Dutch. I would like to learn though, so give it a shot. Maybe I can pick up on something.
Oui, parce que Yves était le premier visiteur. Et donc, on a parlé en français.
Premier arrivé, premier servi.
Oui, voilà. Mais maintenant, les Anglais sont en majorité, donc on va changer en anglais.
C'est la démocratie, ok.
Yeah.
That's fine. Guys.
So, what I would like to do is to start a small presentation I prepared. It's not finished at all, but I will give it a shot anyway. So, present. I wanted to cover an awful lot of topics, but I only made it up with this. And the last week we saw some roadblocks for the membership. As far as I understand it, there are some legal problems to board on members at the moment because we need a permission per state. And I think it's very localized for the USA. And I think it's a worldwide movement. So this is a bit strange to me. And the rights and obligations of members, they are also not very clear, and the advantages are also not so clear. So that's why we decided more or less that's Patrick, Kid Blake, and me, and some other people, Jim Scarfer also, to introduce the term activist. And what activists can do is they can fill out a form and they can tell how much they want to be involved with the RChain co-op. And this is the lowest option, I would say. So you receive just a newsletter, and if you say, yeah, I do, then you get to fill out more details about yourself. And there have been 61 responses already. So there's some testing people also in it. So let's say we have about 50 people who responded to this. So, and then I tried to move all the people to the GitHub of RChain, because that's where we discuss our issues and so. And some other people are also trying to get them on board here. And what you see here is a Kanban overview of issues. And I can zoom into, for example, this issue. Then we said, well, maybe it's better to change the membership registration into activist registration. And that's what has happened last week. And those activists, they can do jobs, and they can define a statement of work, and they can define also a reward for their efforts, and then they get rock. It's also a nice way for distributing rocks. So this is another issue. That's the likely linkers game of Patrick. and it's also in progress at the moment. But it, yeah, maybe Patrick, you can tell a bit more about it.
Yeah, sure. And I actually was working on this document. Or this spreadsheet I'm gonna post into the Slack too. My computer's going slow. But more or less what this likely linker game is an experiment to see if we can aggregate all of our networks and to see if we can start doing outreach for links to RChain related content. So I gave a little bit of feedback to Shin Guy. Hopefully I pronounced his name right. But he's working to make an intro to RChain article. So what I'm going to do as an example for this likely linker game is build to that, show people on that, and maybe we can start the habit of sharing, potentials to RChain related content. And then what I also, I'm going to post this in the chat. This is just a content sheet. If you guys remember the Amplifier program where they just published a bunch of news articles and then people could just go to their spreadsheet and share it. So this is something that's similar to that, but it can also tie into this likely linker game. So I've been working on, or I actually just did that this morning in anticipation. I'm sure the share settings I have to change, but yeah, so that's a little bit about that.
It's a very good project, and well, I'm looking forward to have it on the rails. Yeah. So another thing is how to get some value for the rock, and there's also an issue. We have Eta Delta and Oasis that works fine. Thanks for KD Valentine, because he gave some instructions on it. And we are working on a program to get more people involved. So probably a video is going to be made about how to do it, and a paper, and then we have to set up a kind of email campaign to people who we know, and then get more rocks on those exchanges. There's some documents being edited, and there's some requests being submitted already. So I want to go for now. This is the Eta Delta, and you see that the price is about, let me say, what was it? Yeah, it's around 0.001 Ether for one rock. So that's nice. And then we have also the Oasis. There's also some rocks to buy at the moment. And actually there are some people buying rocks. So so that was about that was my presentation, more or less. I wanted to cover a lot more subjects, but I didn't manage to do it. So so I give the floor to somebody else.
I can give a couple more updates too. So I've curated the beginning of June's newsletter, and I took all the emails that you sent to me in GitHub, and I actually deleted that comment on Navneet's request because we didn't want too many of those emails to be public. But I got those emails, and I'm gonna write the description for today's Hangout, revise the newsletter document one more time, and then, or not the newsletter document, the actual campaign, the actual newsletter draft, and then I'm going to send a test email out, so you can expect that later on today, probably an hour or so after the Hangout ends. So that would be, 5 o'clock ish Eastern Standard Time, and then. Yeah, I would love everybody's feedback on that. This one in particular was really interesting because all the different facets of what was happening. So it would be nice to start to get those curation habits in place so that we can really maximize the fact that we're a cooperative and a community effort. Let's see what else. The Likely Linkers game. I have that spreadsheet right there. It's just an aggregate of all the content, and I plan to update it weekly. The LinkedIn group, please request to join. It's going to be a weekly updated LinkedIn group for professional networking. We're basically going to share just some of the more professional stuff. So the last update was the holdings synopsis that Ed provided, and that Shingai is going to make the article based off of. Twitter's doing great. Facebook, I haven't pushed too much into Facebook. Feel free to like it, share it and stuff, but that might, if we're going to run like real deal Facebook campaigns, that will take a little bit of money, or it'll take a real aggregated effort. Let's see, Facebook, Twitter, newsletter, LinkedIn, like the Linker game. Yeah, that's about all my updates as they relate specifically to. That would be great. Or if anybody has specific requests or paths, trajectories they would like to explore, that would be awesome as well. I know Colony just released their beta, and it's a task bounty system enabled project management that might be interesting to explore for something like the Likely Linker game, or anything that is very easy to bountify, like a bug or something like that. Yeah, that's about all right now.
All right. Jim or Kit or Ian, or Kevin, do you have some updates?
Hi, this is Kevin. No updates on my end. I did get the opportunity to meet the team, so that was great. Went to the meetup in Brooklyn, and the team really got a really warm response, and so that was really good. Patrick, I did have a question regarding Twitter. One of the hashtags that I see is big data. And I was talking to Ed about that, and he thought that was like an interesting choice. I wasn't really sure how it related. So could you just give me a little insight into, big data and why we're using that as a hashtag?
Sure. I mean, the simplest answer is because when you look at these like hashtagify, or these websites that will aggregate what hashtags tend to go together, or the preferences that people that follow specific hashtags. So basically what I did was I went to, I think it's called Hashtagify me or something like that, Hashtagify, and I typed in blockchain and I looked at the complementary hashtags, and big data was a large one. And then I also noticed that in the coin interview, the latest coin interview with Greg throughout the redemption process, he does get into an explanation of RChain, quote unquote, could manage big data for the blockchain. So it's basically a buzzword that I use to get more reach, and it actually seems to be working fairly well.
Okay, got it. That makes sense. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And there's other ones like FinTech, or Consensus 2017. I would put on a lot of the other ones. Open source governance. Those all seem to make a little bit more sense. But big data ties in pretty well with the topical relativity of quote unquote blockchain.
Got it.
Great question. Oh, also, if you guys, so within this likely linker scheme, there's this keyword research, and I'm trying to aggregate more buzzwords like that, and even more specific ones that can be used beyond hashtags, but more importantly for long-term search engine optimization. So if you have like these these conversations with these why is big data being used and other keyword stuff. If you could, even if you just send them to me, like, hey, these are interesting keywords, boom, 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 or if you go to that sheet within the Likely Linkers game, it's called the keyword spreadsheet. That's another one I would like to get aggregated because that will benefit us greatly in the long-term search results. So I'll just keep rambling on that. Examples of that would be like if we have the focus topic is decentralized applications, then what relates to that? And you could use these hashtag tools to figure out what Twitter thinks relates to that. So if you type in decentralized applications as a hashtag on Twitter, what other keywords will Twitter relate to that thing? And let's start to build a map of these keywords and the topics that these keywords embody, so that our content and then our SEO strategy and the campaigns the content that we eventually run with that will work in a way that will get us to the top of Google for, decentralized applications, smart contracting languages, and things like that. So for decentralized applications, if that's the focus topic, relative topics would be smart contracts, DAOs, distributed hash tables, ledgers, or open ledger, things of that nature. So it might not seem like the most glamorous of work, but if we could build out a keyword map, it will do great for us in the long term. And also with new keywords that are being created, like people are trying to figure out ideas for tokens, like is there a protocol access token, is it a software access token, and all these things. If we're creating the nomenclature, then we can establish that in our content in a way that if the nomenclature gets picked up by the total industry, then we'll dominate on it. So like dApps and DAOs right now, if you type all that in, it's going to be all Ethereum because they pioneered the actual language.
Right.
A little bit SEO talk, but yeah, that's that.
I guess there's a couple of things I'd like to mention. I guess the main thing is sociocratic organization and how that might be applied to building our organization as a community. We're experimenting with it in digital life, and I think that could help the network effect by connecting sociocratically with other organizations. And I guess we'll get into that more.
I would definitely like to learn more about that. Is there a specific tool that is connecting, like a sociocracy 3.0 tool?
Sociocracy 3.0 is one example. Okay, not everybody likes it exactly that way, but basically it's just interconnected circles using a consent-based decision process. And
so right there, the consent-based decision process. Just very, very briefly, how is that different from what we're doing right now in GitHub, and how easy is it to transition?
Yeah, it's more about habits that you form. I mean, most of it is face-to-face groups that use this, and first of all, they try to draw out concerns from all the people and deal with them. Mm-hmm. Then, make sure, that they've dealt with all the concerns, and then they make a decision that they consent to. And by laying out the circles and giving people roles and responsibilities, you're building strong teams. And by interconnecting those teams with other teams, you're creating a collective intelligence. And you're building team sizes generally from 3 to 5 people or 3 to 7 people, where you get a good collective intelligence from the group. And then you have other things that get to crowd wisdom, other tools, but it's mainly about when you have an idea or a project, you say, what drives this? What's our primary driver here? And then you have drivers and sub-drivers that organize the organization, and they're connected horizontally with links and vertically with links. But enough about that for now. I did also want to mention that we started out using, for trading, we started using MetaMask, and it looks like Parity is a much better tool. So I don't know if people agree with that, but that's essentially the onboarding method that we can have for users, is using Parity to get with us. And the interface to Parity is very, very good and flexible in the sense that it's all on your machine anyway, so we can modify it. But it has development tools and other things built in. It comes up automatically. You manage your accounts and your address book and your applications. And I was saying, it remembers the contracts you've run, and it makes like a dashboard. And then how do I get rid of this? And here, you select what things you want in your top bar, and we can put custom for it might serve us well here. The other thing I've been looking at is Cloudtron, and I set up a Cloudtron host, divvydown.net. And the beauty of it is you can put all these tools in with a click of the button. And so people can administer stuff themselves, and that offloads a lot of work on the system from the system administrators. And there's a whole wide range of tools for blogging, for chat. It has Rocket Chat and Mattermost. It has GitLab, very, very nice, integrates nice. Stuff you run yourself that's open source, that's consistent with our philosophy. For example, I set up a newsletter, and it's pretty capable, it seems. And I just set up some lists, with which was from Slack, which was really easy. So, it has a nice community-run IRC channel. I got the Mattermost on this. And there's a LAMP framework for running other things. So if you want WordPress, they have a WordPress. But if you want something they don't have, you can use the LAMP plugin to stand it up. This takes care of your mail configuration, and on DigitalOcean, it takes care of all your DNS and security and user management. Uses LDAP, so it gives you a single sign-on capability that you can extend to other apps. But I don't know why it just signed in yet. But so it gives everyone in the community an email address, which they can link with their regular email with Copper IMAP. So that on this one, it's divvydow.net. You know, I have the account Jim Scarver at divvydow.net, and all the email configuration and everything was all done automatically. It's awesome. So I was thinking we might want to have something like this for the community. I don't know. It's just something to look at, as you know. You might want to look at CloudRun and see if there's applications that you would like to run that run in that platform. And I'm sort of working with them a little bit to try to get some other applications up as well.
Jim, I have a question. If we implement this, does it interfere with what we have now, like the GitHub or?
Well, there's a problem. Well, the GitHub is fine. I mean, I think, if we had looked at this first, I would have said use GitLab and run it ourselves. Let's not use a third-party system like GitHub. But we are using that. We're going to stick with it, and we can integrate with it. So it's not a problem.
Okay.
We don't have tools from here that we're using elsewhere. If we are using, want to use more than one tools and have some user management in place, it might be a good thing to make an installation of CloudTron and make it available to members.
So we have to work on that, how to make it available to members, the introduction, how to use it, and so.
Well, the thing, part of the issue is that normally it runs on a domain and it takes over that domain. So I had divvydow.net available, so I use that because I control it. The thing is, we don't really want to take over the main domain, RChain.coop, so we would need another domain for this machine. RChain.net or something else. That would be the main issue. And then we would have to cough up, $20 a month or whatever for the DigitalOcean host to run it on. And it would only be worthwhile if there's at least one or two apps from it we want to run. So, at this point, it's just something worth investigating, and just send me an email in Slack or whatever to be added as a member to this test of CloudTron.
Yeah.
So that we can try it out, see if we want to run it.
Okay, sounds nice. Patrick, I also wanted to say to you that Eve is an excellent JavaScript programmer. So if you want to use it for your website.
Yes, like my job is front end, a big back end JavaScript development. So I'm quite comfortable with it. So if like somebody need help to work on some public website, I'm here.
Yeah, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Kit, do you have any updates?
Yeah, let me open a tab here and turn on sharing for a second. I've been trying to focus on onboarding co-op members, and that process kind of ground to a halt because we ended up in, here we go, in conflict with a bunch of local laws. But here you can see there's a co-op membership agreement, which was originally written by Evan, and I went into it and made a lot of adjustments to try to make it friendlier, and he understandably wasn't very happy, but fortunately, Ken Williams came in, and he has legal expertise, and he turned it into a real legal document. But this is the document that is defining what we call a member. And now I'm really happy to see this movement towards an activist, which is a much more lightweight thing. And so I think this document will just save it for the future, but we need to figure out what sort of text we need for activists. So that's a point that can be debated. The problem with this one is it's based on this company, this REI Co-op, and it's a company that sells outdoor equipment. And if you look at the membership agreement and then you look at this company, then we basically took a bunch of the stuff that they're doing as precedents. And so one of the things that they do is if you buy equipment, then every year you get a rebate. And that same rebate is in this agreement, but all of that is really far, far away because we're not going to have revs for another year or so. And then according to the rules of the rebate, after 1 year, everything you purchase, you get a rebate of 10%. And I actually proposed a different thing, which is based on Byte Ball, and this is
wonderful.
Yeah, this is an alternative blockchain, which technically is very interesting for technical people here, but it's actually the distribution that they're doing that I think is most interesting for us, because they're giving it away for free. And the idea is that it follows Metcalfe's law, where you have a number of users and you have a market cap, and the market cap is the square of the number of users. And well, I don't know if that's right or not, but Byteball has become extremely successful, and it has a big market cap. It's up to number, I don't know, 87 or something already, and it's really working. And I think we need to consider something in this direction. And a while ago, in this issue, which is number 15, I actually proposed something like that. But it never really got picked up by people, and we got lost grinding to a halt with the legal problems of having to get this agreement approved by all 50 states.
So we can pump it up again, the suggestion in...
Good, because that's exactly what I wanted to ask in this meeting. I'm prepared to like back and bring this up and push for it again. And if people like the idea, then this is a way that we can have an incentive for people to become activists.
I have a few comments on that Byteball's distribution method. I've seen it, and I actually, have a few and it's based on owning a Bitcoin address, right? And so the distribution is minimal, and I think it's proportional to the amount of Bitcoins that you own in a private address. You can't have an address at an exchange. And Stellar, if you're familiar with that project as well, they're doing something similar in terms of giving it away, and it's all based on a Bitcoin address. And so the question that I would have is, one, what would be the basis for accounting to who you distribute the, whatever the token is going to be? Would it be Bitcoin? Would it be Ethereum? And even distribution be proportional to the amount of tokens that they hold as a percentage of the current circulating supply.
Yeah, but it's more about the philosophy that you get rocks out in no time to a lot of people. And what we are doing is, or what we are trying to set up is rewarding people for efforts. And this can spread out also like a, like a snowball.
Yeah, so using the exact byte ball formula where it's based on your holdings of Bitcoin, we're not thinking of that at all. It's more just a general idea that here is a way to distribute rocks to interested, motivated people on a regular basis. And how it's actually done, I mean, this highlighted text here is a suggestion, and if anybody has a better idea, then, well, we'd be happy to hear it. But this was posted like a month ago, and I'm gonna make more noise in the coming days and kind of repost this. And if you have other ideas, then, well, that'll be great. We really want to hear about it. Because it's as I showed here on Byteball, it started in December on Christmas, and we're already up to 35. So this distribution, people like getting stuff for free, and I think we should try to follow that philosophy, not necessarily the formula. And one other point is that there's a project here that's beginning to kind of ramp up, but I'm actually waiting until we work out the member/activist situation, but it's something that I've been discussing regularly with Jim. So this is number 41. And there's links here to the video and the meeting log and everything. It's also shown up here as a project, which HJ pasted in from a Google Doc. And yesterday I published a user story, which is in the wiki. And this is a proposal for an initial pilot project. So you could have a read, and then if you have feedback, let's do it in the issue. But I don't have any problem with criticism. And I'm also not a deeply technical developer in any way. So if you have something to add or modify or whatever, I'd be happy to hear it. So that's my my report. I'll stop sharing.
Yeah, that's awesome. A lot of work. Maybe Ian, do you have also an update?
Yeah, not so much update, but I'm interested maybe talking a little more to Jim about additions to Slack for more internal communications for members, like Greg was alluding to. So Greg had mentioned setting up a Rocket Chat, and I think Jim had mentioned Mattermost, which is I think it's mostly a paid platform. I was wondering if anyone had experience with Matrix or even something like an OStatus solution, just as possible alternatives. I thought matrix.org was pretty interesting if anyone has looked at it.
I love Matrix, and I think it's probably very usable, and it's decentralized in a nice way.
Yeah, Matrix is quite open, and it's a platform on which several applications are running. And I've used Riot a little bit, but I'm just not sure which is the most stable and whether it's going to have all the features that we need, or whether we should just go to Rocket Chat, which has been out for longer.
Ian, could you show something, share your screen about Matrix, or is that not useful?
It's just matrix.org, and I see somebody has already put riot.im in the chat.
Okay, then Riot IM.
Yeah, there we go.
I guess the issue would be running our own Riot. The nice thing about running your own Mattermost is very, very close to Slack, and it seems like it's the platform that is easiest for most accepted by people who come from Slack. As you can see here, they have the Digital Life Collective, and there's a whole bunch of teams in that. Like each team is like a different Slack. And there's the Platform Cooperative Investment Club that's running on another server. And then the DiviDAO.net, which has a bunch of teams in it that we're running ourselves on DigitalOcean in Cloudron. And then Cloudron.io has their own Mattermost instance where I'm discussing adding apps to Cloudtron that we need for communities, like the URL shortener that I put up for Digital Life.
So what is the pricing arrangement? I know you're on the free tier, but Mattermost has, is it completely free for open source projects?
It's completely free for open source project. And, Garish is excited that, he would love to have RChain use it. I mean, that's better than money, he says. I like Mattermost. I like Matrix too. It's like it's very difficult. I've used Rocket Chat, and it has some niceties, but the support for every different platform, apps for every platform. There is a problem with notifications, phone notifications. That's a hard thing to get working. The email notifications are great, et cetera, et cetera.
And the other question is, which of these has a back end which would be easiest to create a gateway onto RChain when RChain is built? So which might be more compatible?
Matrix.
Yeah, probably.
But
can you share something of Matrix also, or?
Sure. Let's.
A few months ago, I think I set up something for RChain on riot.im. So if you just go to their default server, you can see we have the beginnings of a group, but we're not hosting it.
So this is this is the Riot interface here, and you can see that this is your you can get all your IRC channels, and you can get all your Gitter in Riot as well, in Matrix.
Yeah, Gitto
Riot,
is nice too.
Riot is the web. It has the web app, and they also have the phone apps. So you can see here that I have my favorite channels, and I have my favorite people. There's Kip. No.
And again, Riot is really just a front end to a Matrix server. So you can host your own Matrix server, and there's several applications that can talk to it if you use the right protocols.
Yeah, and here's a room I call RChain, which I think we have a few members here. Ian, I think that's you in there. Oh, you have an invite or some, I don't know. But I guess I can just share the URL here. And you can join the RChain chat room.
Yeah.
And of course, no, it's one level, so we would have RChain this, RChain that, RChain the other, as our different channels.
Shall we move then to this Matrix Riot slowly?
I think the next step might be to host our own Matrix server. I don't think we want to rely on the one that's hosted by Riot.
Could you set it up, Ian?
Yeah, I'll look into it.
Okay. It seems, it looks nice to me. It looks nicer than Slack, for example. And we can just move the active people or invite active people going there.
Yeah, we have to test it a bit because right now, again, it seems Rocket Chat is the favored solution for the forum for members. Not set up yet, but that's what Greg mentioned on the last Hangout last Wednesday.
Yeah, but maybe he changes insights.
Yeah, we have to convince him, but we have to test first.
Yeah, true. We have also some new people in. I think Kelly Foster, could you say something maybe?
Hi, yes, of course. Can you hear me?
Yeah, wonderful, great.
Excellent. So I am with Pyrofex, with Nash Foster, and with Mike Stay. I'm their developer program manager, and Pyrofex is committed to doing some work on behalf of the RChain project. And so we are joining in today to learn more about what's happening in the co-op aspect of RChain.
Okay, that's great that we have somebody from Pyrofex in the call. Yeah. Yeah, so mostly this is this working together is in its infancy, and we are trying to get people on issues and getting work done. And we are trying to set up a governance model for what to do and when and things like that. So yeah, we're moving slowly ahead.
No, it sounds like you're definitely taking steps ahead, and that's good news. Thanks for letting us join in and learn.
Great.
I think, Kevin, you're also with Pyrofex? They're unmuted. Is Kevin also with Pyrofex?
There's on the team with Pyrofex are Mike Stay, Nash Foster, Griff, I see in the chat window, will be a part of our team as well in the next couple of days. He's joining, and I've seen him on the Slack channel as well. We're all just trying to ramp up. Clearly we've got our developer chops on, but we're ramping up on this particular project and getting to know what the goals of not just the development goals are, but also of the community as a whole.
Wonderful.
Okay. We have about 10 minutes left, and then the hangout of Greg is going to start. Does anybody have some urgent subjects to talk about at the moment?
Yes, I have one question regarding the discussion about tokens that will be issued, to power the activist community. What is the main point of issuing another token than ROC to fund the activists?
The main thing is that ROC is running on the Ethereum blockchain, and the new coin REF will run on its own blockchain.
Okay, so okay, and so the actual owners of ROC tokens will have a new token conversion when it comes out? Or?
Yeah, probably, but this is a very vague subject at the moment.
Okay. I think the Waves platform could be a solution to Waves tokens. Waves, sorry.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Okay, fine.
So yeah, there's also Patrick posted something in the chat box also that's interesting.
Yeah, and there's also this like open discussion about if it's possible for RChain platform to run another economic token, and by that I think they mean Ethereum, Bitcoin, and those other ones. I was in that case, wouldn't it make sense to just keep ROC then, or I mean, this is going to open up a whole nother conversation, but I was just wondering your opinion.
Yeah, and it's an interesting point of view to keep the ROC also next to the REF.
Because if it runs ERC20 tokens, then ROC will work just as well as a Rev. And then so I see Mike's in here also. He said, "What is the exchange rate between ROC and Rev? Has that been decided?" I don't think it's been nailed down exactly, but I assume it's 1-to-1, unless there's other factors such as introducing another economic token into the platform. But yeah, that's something that question is in demand. So let's pester Greg about that, maybe in the hangout.
Yeah, that's a good question. So maybe it's good to end the meeting here, and so everybody has time to switch over to the next meeting of Greg. And I want to thank everybody for joining this call, and I hope to see you next week.
Yeah, thanks everybody. And can someone post the link to Coin Interviews Zoom room? Because I always misplace it.
Okay.
Thank you. All right, thanks guys. Take care. I'll see you soon.
Okay, bye everybody. You got your link, Patrick? Yeah, okay. Okay, bye-bye.
Take care.